Thank you for that introduction, Nathan. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it solely on these accounts. Thanks to Mark Twain, we can all imagine that travel itself brings about color, compassion, and communication. New eats, treats, and musical beats, new sights, bites, and potential marital fights. A life without travel is a life unlived. Today I will be discussing the benefits and perspectives that I've gained through travel, and also encouraging you to travel, whether it's abroad, internationally, domestically, regionally, within your state, or traveling within your own community. As a child, I was blessed by my father to travel extensively. We didn't have the best clothes. We shopped at JCPenney. We didn't drive the fanciest cars. We didn't have the biggest house. But what my parents' money was spent on was travel. As a kid, I remember going 3 weeks to Australia. I remember traveling to England, Germany, and Austria. This then transitioned my love for travel into college, where I went on different mission trips, and after school spent a month in England and Ireland, and now professionally working for an international NGO, where I've had the opportunity to travel here and there doing different work assignments. Whether vacation, mission, or work, I believe that it's imperative for one's growth and self-understanding and developing a strong worldview. The epiphany that I found was that only 37% of the American population has a passport. That means that only this means that 2/3 of the population can't go to Canada. It's a striking statistic for me as someone who really believes that travel is imperative for life. Not only do you taste new foods, new smells, whether positive or negative smells, you engage in comfortable or non-comfortable environments. You get to hear new languages. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to be a part of a new language or to try and navigate your way through a city if you don't know the language. But this builds confidence, this builds esteem, and this builds rapport within yourself. You learn that there's varied ways of doing things, that we're not alone in America, that we have neighbors, that there are different ways of interacting with one another. Whether you look someone in the eye, whether you stare at them, whether you look down as you pass by. How do you call a taxi? How do you order your food? Where do you stay? I believe that traveling internationally brings about global perspective, a common respect, and a time for teaching and learning. This goes to say, however, that you can gain these things domestically as well. Being in California, if you go to the Deep South, you'll definitely hear a different type of language. You'll taste different foods, different flavors, and you'll experience a slower pace of life. Personally, as a kid, again, my family moved from Maryland to Oregon. We didn't fly. We took 2 weeks and drove across the U.S. This developed a very interesting side of me as well, gaining perspective of my home, heritage, and history, learning different parts about our country, seeing different types of people, experiencing different sights. I would encourage you all to take advantage of our national and state parks. You pay for them, why not enjoy them? They're there for you to experience. I also believe that traveling domestically enriches a child's life or an adult's life, broadens perspective of who we are and where we've come from. Visit any town in the U.S. and you'll see historical landmarks everywhere. Whether it's a small hamlet in southern Oregon or Maine metropolis, New York, you'll see historical landmarks everywhere. Travel to an old sawmill in the Northwest, Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, family in Minnesota, the biggest ball of twine in Kansas, the Pensacola Beach sign in Florida, or Vulcan the Iron Man in Alabama. These experiences will definitely enrich one's life. And lastly, I understand that travel, whether domestically or internationally, takes a lot of time and money at times. So, One perspective that I really wanted to hone in on was traveling within your local community. Personally, I live in Pasadena. This is a small city within a large metropolis. I have the opportunity of going next door and meeting someone, a neighbor, engaging in conversation with them. Who knows where they're from, because it's Los Angeles. They could be from any other state, any other country in the world. Additionally, I encourage you all to look up Groupon. If you don't know what it is, it's usually like buy it for $20 or $25 for $50. Talk to me about it later. But through Groupon, my husband and I have been able to find local Thai restaurants. We've gone to the ballet for half off. We've gone to the Pasadena Pops and Symphony concert. Additionally, I would encourage you to take the metro. Yes, Los Angeles is built on highways, but we do have a metro, and it's a very interesting cultural experience. If you live in Southern California, which we all do, you know that culture surrounds us. Take advantage of the foods, the arts, the music, the life that surrounds us. Who lives around you? Who are your neighbors? Did you know that Little Ethiopia is just 40 minutes away? There are local markets, restaurants, and boutiques everywhere. You don't have to travel far to gain new culture and new experiences. It's all about perspective. Whether international, domestic, or local, travel encourages understanding, listening, and respect. Additionally, travel builds confidence, rapport, and an enriched life. So go now and live it.